Hey everybody, you're going to notice things are a little bit different today. There's no high energy, hey, this is Justin Decent, because today isn't about Justin Decent, today isn't from Justin Decent. Today the message is coming from former Sergeant Justin Lehue, and this message isn't about me. This message is about the 22 plus veterans who take their lives every day. And that struggle that veterans go through and lose a lot of times. And I'm commenting particularly in engaging in the 22 push-up challenge. And the reason I want to do this, and I actually asked a friend of mine, Adam Love, to nominate me, is me personally, I've had a problem with some of these video trends. I mean, they're fun to do, ice bucket challenge, etc., so on. But I think a lot of times we lose the meaning and intention of the challenge just in a desire to be trendy. And I don't mean to call anybody out. I'm not insulting anybody. It doesn't mean you're disingenuine. But me personally, given my personal interest in this particular topic, I want to elicit more change. So over the next 22 days, I'm not just going to sit here and do push-ups. I want to raise awareness. I'm going to tell you stories of my time in the service. I'm going to show you various push-up variations. I am also a certified personal trainer, so I want to give you some different push-up tips. I'm also going to try to highlight various charities and causes to help end, or at least put a dent in the number of veterans who end their lives, and organizations that reach out and help, and prevention, education, things of this nature. And along those lines, so what I'm going to do for the next 22 days, I'm going to do push-ups, obviously. I've done many of those in my life, and anybody who's put on the uniform is well aware that push-ups are a huge part of that. But I'm also going to try to force myself to engage in charitable donation. And in that vein, what many of you don't know is not only am I a veteran and a professional wrestler, but I also have dabbled in painting. Now, I'll be the first to admit, it is not great. But it's therapeutic and I enjoy it. It's something that's kind of helped me. In particular, one painting I did for myself. A lot of my paintings I've done for fans, I've done for fun, I've done in character. There's one I did in particular for myself, and it is a representation of my first night patrol in Iraq. And it's something I always intended to keep for myself. But in accepting this challenge, I came up with a new plan. So what I'm going to do over the next 22 days, we're going to have an auction of sorts. So I want you to reach out to me, slide into those DMs, comment on these videos, whatever you need to do. And every day, I'm going to tell you where we're at. I want to auction off this painting. Painted it myself. It's got a lot of emotion tied into it. It's got a lot of connection tied into it. And it bears to the topic of what we're trying to engage people in understanding. Part of the reason this topic is so important to me is it would have been 2014. I was informed that a young man I served with, who was on my deployment with me, took his own life. And to this day, I find myself wondering, what if I had reached out? What if I had made a call, written a letter, anything? Could that have been avoided? And I don't want anybody else to have to feel that way, to question that every day. So what I want to do is I want to encourage everybody. If you think somebody might be struggling, reach out. If you've ever worn the uniform, and even if you haven't, if you know a service member, or if you have buddies you haven't talked to in a while, because I know how it works. We get out, we all go our separate ways. We get so caught up in readapting to this life that we tend to shove aside that former self and some of those friends that were meant so much to us. And it's not intentional, it just happens. Reach out. You don't know what they're going through, or maybe you do know what they're going through. And more importantly, if you are struggling, reach out to somebody. And if you don't feel like you have anybody, reach out to me. I'm here. I'll be here for anybody. I don't want to hear or read or see that another one of my brothers or sisters in arms, anybody who was brave enough to put on that uniform, felt so lost that they felt the solution was to end their existence. We can do better for each other. So for the next 22 days, I'm going to do my best to encourage you to not just accept a challenge. Don't just do 22 push-ups. Do push-ups. They're great for you. Make a change. Do something that matters. Talk to somebody. Donate to a cause. Volunteer your time. Anything you can do to actually make a change. So, without further ado, without further avoidance, let's get down to business at hand, and hopefully, over the next 22 days, we can make some changes. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Oh, maybe squats weren't a good idea beforehand. 21, 22. See, the push-ups are simple. Change isn't. So together, let's make a change.